Hello to my FM Signals info show. You're welcome to another 48 hours technical analysis and synthesis. Today with a major one, or the major one, the euro-dollar cross rate. So analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. Okay, welcome once again. It's 17:34 right here, right now in Europe, Stuttgart, Germany, Europe, Central European Time, 23rd February 2012, or even 11:33 in New York morning, of course, on Thursday. Here we've got the 1 hourly chart of the euro dollar, and here we see the lows of this year here after the sell-off start of the year here, and then the recovery and the upside trend. And interesting for me here is, if we see here the two lows in February or in January, excuse me, here at the second or third week here, this little one, let's zoom perhaps here if we see the lows on Thursday here, if we create here an upside trend, so we see here we are trading, trading round about it. So very interesting, and yes, that's the reason why I'm choosing the major pair here for until the end of the week, perhaps start of the next week. We will see what will happen. So that's the main signal, or the basic signal for today. However, go long short, we are proudly on highs here, roundabout highs of this year, of course. Here we just start the high in February, and we are riding here around about the highs and here on this upside trend. So yes, very interesting. So yesterday I thought it's a long while trading day. I didn't saw this yesterday, but yes, yes, you can learn day by day something more if you you're staying aware or responsibility. However, let's analyze the stuff. And interesting for me is this one, this formation. Here, that's the character in my opinion for the upside trend. Here the upside trend. Then here in end of January, start of February, here the sideways trend. And then we've got here even the highs of this year today. We've got new highs shortly after the EFO comes out, but later something more about this. However, here the high, we are trading something around down of the highs of this year, and here this upside trend. Here we see the lows in February around about 130 or down 130, and interesting for the, how do you say in English, for the evidence, yes, of this upside trend is for me, if we are on for this formation, if we are creating here this line, so we see yes, we are back on court, back in line if you want, and yes, it will be very interesting. Well, the question is, of course, today, end of the week, perhaps next week, will we create new highs and stay on point or stay in line if you want. So, however, I don't accepting if we should stay in line, this content will continue. Perhaps we stay in line and broke this trend again, but the question is, of course, we will create new highs this or next week then. So be aware, take respond, and put it in your trading plan or map, however. Okay. Good, how to trade this? How to trade euro dollar? 50 minutes I'm choosing, so this is the 1 hourly chart, of course. Let's zoom a little bit to the 50 minutes. Here we see the down, the lows. Here, February, the lows, and here we are back on court. And interesting, of course, is end of last week. Here we are come back and creating here something like an, if you want, triangle. However, so another. Let's put it right. Here we see it, the triangle. So another technical formation. And even evidence of the function of this line. So here, of this line. Here another evidence that this line still are working or worked in February. And yes, here the squeeze out, perhaps not this week, but next week. And yes, the question is this the high, the sky? Pick or the spike of the mountain, or will we climb to new highs roundabout at 133.08, the high line here by my broker is 133.20. The highs of today were are by roundabout I will saying it to you later. Okay, however, yes, how to trade this cross trade. Here, to put it in a context, I'm creating also the trading sessions. I couldn't identify some trends here, the downside trend, here the upside trend. Of course, here European trading session to have better understanding than the American. While Wall Street is open, while DAX is trading, Casa of course, and here we see it. Interesting, yes, but to trade it, I'm choosing also the 5-minute charts here, and here we see much better that the lows of today are roundabout at the highs of yesterday. So perhaps is this an indication intraday, of course, that we are, yes, an upside trend, of course, in the last 2 days. But here we see we've got 3 days this week on Monday here. No, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. This week something like a sideways trend. And today on Thursday we are trading first time here above these sideways trends. Yes. So perhaps this does an indication that this upside trend here are still working. However, perhaps I'm interpreting too much in this picture or in this chart, but it's a fact. So yes, and I tried always to trade. I'm trying not to attack, or I'm not trying to attack. I'm trying to trade fact by fact. So yes, analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. That's the fact. So okay. However, how to trade it once again, or come to a point, come to an end. Here we see the highs of yesterday, the lows of today, even while New York opened. Here the white line inside. So that's the time where Europe and where the DAX and the Dow are trading at the same time. Now the DAX closed since now it's 70.42 since 12 minutes, and we see here the two lines. Now we are falling, and I'm also hoping that we are far back, come perhaps to the area where the Dow opens before even 2 hours if you want. Yes, here roundabout, and then I would buy again euro dollar. So at this line. So I'm putting some lines also here for your trading. The line here, the evidence, we see the triangle here on the 50 basis. So I'm putting here also on the 5 minutes basis here the high of yesterday. Even we see here the high of yesterday. We see here the lows of today are something little above it, while the trading session in New York, in Europe and New York right here right now. So here that's this line. Then the upside trend from yesterday. Here something a little bit down under. So I would create here and stop, or I would try to buy here and create a stop here. Of course, you can also buy right here right now 133 and create a stop here by 132.78 or 70, so 30 pips. So if we are broken this line and this line, then we've got a new scenario on the intraday basis. So I would delete this video. So here once again in the 50-minute chart we will see it better. So if we are broken this line and don't come back about here, if we are falling back in the sideways trend if you want, so then we've got here something on shoulder head shoulder formation. That could be a short trigger for next week. So stay aware, take response or cautious, how do you say, how do you want, and yeah, be prepared. So however, but don't expect that we are falling here back today. So and we see here the upside trend of yesterday night after New York here, while Asia was trading here, this upside trend, and we are still on it. We are trading here around about it. Here we see it here. I'm also creating here, so we are still here in this side trend, but this is sharp, but this intraday upside trend is very sharp. So I'm hoping, or I'm accepting here that we are fall here back down, perhaps here at 132.98, and here a little bit about 25 pips down under 135, and we can here fishing some some prices, and then have more power to come to get to new highs for perhaps tomorrow or next week. However, you can of course go long here and take the stop then here or here. So here at least. So it's your risk, it's your own risk management. Interesting for today here, the new highs. Here the new high was at 11:14, 10:14 Central European time, at here at 1:33:41 by my broker, was the fact that this morning comes the IFO out, the German business indicator. Here we see it. Yes, business, how do you say in English? IFO business arrive. Yes, industry and trade, February. And we see we are here back on court, proudly something above, a little bit above all-time highs, 2006. So the German industry is, yeah, recovered, still in line. But of course, we've got, yes, we mean the Europeans and Germans, of course, we've got the euro, and by the way, yes, in another places in the south side or in the GIPS are still under pressure. So yes, yes, it's yeah, that's a fact, and I don't wanna commentate it anymore, giving commentary about this fact. But the traders put the euro, the market participants, after the data comes out, to new highs, and after that and recovery. So of course Europe is not only Germany, and Germany is not only Europe. And yeah, I don't know how to trade it. And by the way, also the Greek saga is also in line, and yeah, we will see how will it end. However, from a technical view, I would still prefer the long side, and even take the stop wherever you want, at least here about 132.50, by the way, here roundabout, to put a significant line, of course. Okay, yeah, we've got here the IFO business climate, the acceptations climate, and business situation, all recovered a little bit, so pretty in line. You get the data here as CIFO minus group.de. And by the way, we've got also another data today here from the US dollar, here from the house market, from the federal housing financing, and we see here, yes, the quarterly here, yes, the FHFA house price index history, says SA price change measured, and we see here also, yes, I don't want to talk about the recovery, it's still under pressure, but yes, here if we see it technically, here low, here new lows, here highs, so perhaps we will get a little bit recovery, a little bit. I don't accepting much better data here. Here over previous 4 quarters, we see still under pressure the price. So of course this data you can get also of course at FHFA.gov. So yes, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours, and put it in a context like you want. To come to an end, I would still prefer the long side. Perhaps we should zoom this here to the 5 charts. Yes, here we see it. We are trading here roundabout. Interesting is, of course, here after the IFO claims out, we created new highs, broke this line. Then here at the start of New York, we are here at of course. So interesting, of course. Here interesting is the fact for intraday traders, here as we started, we've got creating new highs. Then the low was also while opening in New York. So, and interesting in this context is the high above this sideways trend here, the high today above this, and the lows still in line. So these two lines are still working and have an or will have an interesting lines for us until the end of the week and perhaps next week. Right here, right now, we are falling. Here, the upside trend of Asia, but I'm expecting that we will break in it in the next minutes, fall down, and here it will be the dream scenario, the best scenario if you want, 132.70 roundabout, then buy again. So, but you can of course go still long here and even take a stop here. So round about 15 pips, yes, 50 pips stop. So okay, but or you can wait here. So of course you can short this intraday, but I would still prefer the long side and trade for new highs. And that's my signal for today. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great time. The next video I will create after Wall Street tonight, round about midnight Central European time, so 6 o'clock or 18 o'clock New York. Have a great day. Have a great trade. And yes, analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. I'm Owen out. Best wishes from good old Germany. Ja, wird schon, ich komme.